Opening, have you ever seen a middle-aged man chasing his problems like he's binge-watching a series? Hatchai showed up at work as usual, at a cutting factory run by his father-in-law and brother-in-law. The brother-in-law never hid his disdain for Hatchai. After hearing about last night's fiasco, the brother-in-law abruptly pulled a handgun on Hatchai. Turns out he was gifting Hatchai the gun, a friendly reminder to keep his sister safe. With no choice, Hatchai secretly stuffed the gun into an empty box in the company fridge. Hatchai was just going through the motions at work, lost in thought, repetitively sketching the bird tattoo head scene. He would lock the office door and open a cabinet, revealing an antique bar speaker. Hatchai tuned into a special channel to chat with a mysterious figure about last night's chaos. They seemed to chat regularly, and Hatchai explained to him the real reason he didn't swing his club last night. He could easily tell that the gun had lost its intimidation factor long ago. Besides, he quickly realized there were no bullets in it, signaling that those two weren't much of a threat. After their chat, Hatchai felt a lot better and decided to visit his dad at the nursing home for lunch. However, his dad immediately sensed Hatchai was troubled. This old man seemed to be no ordinary dad, and Hatchai eventually returned home, sighing as he watched his family through the window. Still, they were family and life had to go on. His son continued to ignore him, and Hatchai had grown used to it. But then, something his little girl said cut through his patience like a knife. Turns out, his little girl noticed her bracelet was missing, and that ball was the very one the two thieves had robbed from last night. They could steal anything, but not his precious daughter's belongings. Hatchai turned on his heels, a look of determination on his face. He returned to his dad's room and put on his coat. He grabbed his dad's old FBI badge from over 20 years ago, strapped on a gun, and started his mission by boarding a bus to every tattoo shop in town. Pretending to be FBI, he asked shop owners about the bird-tattooed man from shop to shop. At the last shop, trouble struck. His fake badge was exposed, and the shop owner bluntly pointed out that it had long expired. Before he could even ask a question, he was labeled as a nuisance and surrounded by the tough guys in the shop. Just then, an old man noticed the playing card tattoo on Hatchai's wrist. The tattoo showed a 7 of spades and a 2 of diamonds, the worst hand in poker. The old man understood right away that this middle-aged dude was up to no good. Hatchai instantly regained his cool as he walked into the room and locked the door with a snap, stunning everyone present. He successfully located the couple of criminals, silently barging into their home with his gun drawn at the husband. However, when he demanded his daughter's bracelet, they were completely clueless. Hatchai was furious, itching to pull the trigger on the bald guy. No one could steal from Hatchai, but the man swore he knew nothing about it and claimed he had never seen the bracelet. Hatchai's anger flared as he prepared to pull the trigger. Suddenly, a baby's cry interrupted him, and Hatchai rushed to the door to find a little baby crying in a crib. As the father of two himself, Hatchai couldn't bring himself to pull the trigger and angrily turned to leave. Hatchai felt defeated after a fruitless night's search, having promised his daughter to retrieve her bracelet. In despair, he pounded his fists against the wall until his joints turned red, then silently sat on the bus ride home. It was the last bus of the night, and there weren't many passengers. Suddenly, a swaying Hummer pulled up next to the bus. The bus jolted to a stop as the Hummer slammed into it. A group of drunken guys staggered out of the Hummer and jumped on the bus. They shoved another passenger aside and surrounded the only girl. Hatchai felt joy, knowing his frustrations would be released. He navigated through the thugs, pretending he was in a rush to get off, but unexpectedly blocked the bus driver. He then shut the door, and the thugs suddenly realized something was off with this middle-aged guy. They thought Hatchai was joking, yet he was really ready to throw down with them barehanded. At the beginning, Hatchai's moves were slightly rusty, but soon he regained his form, even though he had been pounded until his face was bruised and had suffered a knife wound to his waist. Nonetheless, he kept fighting back, enduring the pain while charging forward. As a man purely driven by reckless emotion, Hatchai was forcefully thrown right out of the window. The thugs thought the fight was over, only for Hatchai to storm back onto the bus, rage seething. Despite bleeding from his mouth, he had no intentions of letting them off easy. The next round began with Hatchai going even crazier, targeting his opponent's vital spots with a small knife as the blonde guy was about to be out of the game. A thug rushed to the front of the bus to pick up Hatchai's gun, attempting to load bullets for himself. But Hatchai would never allow that, spinning around and smashing the thug with a steel pipe, shattering his throat in the final blow. As the blonde thug was on the brink of passing out, Hatchai suddenly had a change of heart. He grabbed a straw off the ground and slashed his throat with a knife. He then inserted the straw, allowing him to breathe a bit longer. Hatchai stumbled off the bus, exiting under the bus driver's incredulous gaze. He quietly entered, about to go upstairs when he found his wife waiting in the living room. His wife was taken aback at Hatchai's appearance, clueless about what her husband had faced that night. She helped him clean his wounds, clearly having done this many times throughout her youth. With deft hands, she used glue to patch him up, prompting Hatchai to finally vent his feelings to her. If you enjoyed our show, don't forget to hit like and subscribe.